While even the best Nokia phones don't match up to the top-priced Apple iPhones or Samsung Galaxy phones, they still have a lot to offer if you're looking for something that costs less than $1,000. With that in mind, we've ranked the top 10 choices below, so you can see which Nokia phones are the best of the best. Nokia 9 PureView. The Nokia 9 PureView is the company's most high-profile launch yet. It has a 5.99-inch OLED display with a QHD resolution. The high pixel count lends a crisp tightness to on-screen elements that makes icons pop and text stand out. You get 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage to work with. Gorilla Glass 5 from Corning covers the front and the rear of the Nokia 9. The rear cover is sleek glass that dips toward the edges, but smudges and fingerprints stick around. The model packs 5 rear cameras that combine shots into a single image, but the resulting photos don't quite outclass those in pricier flagships. The layout of the camera app is a bit cluttered, but it's manageable. The under-the-display fingerprint reader is essentially unusable. The phone does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack, though it does support USB-C audio. To sum up, the Nokia 9 PureView has problems, as most phones do, but it represents the best Nokia has to offer right now. Nokia G20. The Nokia G20 is an exciting budget device that is powered by the MediaTek Helio 635 chipset. It has a 6.5 2-inch LCDs with 2.5D glass, a 20:9 aspect ratio, and a 1600x720 resolution. You get 4 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage to work with. The phone has a polycarbonate back with a vertical ridge texture designed to make the phone easier to grip. It has a 48-megapixel main, 5-megapixel ultra-wide, and 2-megapixel depth and macro sensors. The G20 can only shoot in 1080p at 30 FPS, which isn't exactly ideal for home videos. It boasts a massive 5050 mAh battery that should last 2 or 3 days of standard use. Its only battery-related downside is its sad 10-watt maximum charging speed, which translates to about 3 hours of recharge time. It doesn't support 5 GHz Wi-Fi, which most people unthinkingly rely on every day. Despite these drawbacks, the Nokia G20 remains one of the most impressively affordable options. Nokia 5.4. The Nokia 5.4 is still one of the best options if you want a value-focused phone. You can expect fairly standard specs on the inside, with 4 or 6 GB of RAM and 64 or 128 GB of storage. Those internals back up a Snapdragon 662 processor and provide decent power for the cameras. It has a 48-megapixel primary lens, a 5-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and 2-megapixel depth and macro sensors. Low-light performance with the primary lens is pretty good with or without night mode. Despite the plastic frame and rear, the handset feels well constructed, though decidedly not premium. It comes with Android 10 on board, though we should expect to see Android 11 soon enough. The model has a 4000 mAh battery pack, which will last all day every day. All in all, the Nokia 5.4 performs well, is durable, and has notably good audio for a budget phone. Nokia 7.2. The Nokia 7.2 is a solid mid-range phone, but it struggles to stand out in the sea of Nokia Android devices. The model packs a Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 and 4 GB of RAM. It has a 6.3-inch display with a 1080 by 2280 resolution. The display is big and bright, but the LCD panel doesn't manage to keep up with OLED displays. The frame of the phone is made of metal and a special polymer, which Nokia claims is twice as strong as a regular polycarbonate. It comes in charcoal, cyan green, and ice colors. On the back, you'll find a triple camera stack with a 48-megapixel primary sensor, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 5-megapixel depth sensor. The phone's 3500 mAh battery is good enough for a whole day. 2 mics on each side of the phone offer stereo recording, but they're easy to accidentally cover up with our hands. Overall, the Nokia 7.2 is an affordable phone offering a rather unique build for the price. Nokia 6.1. The Nokia 6.1 is a tasty, thick slice of pure Android goodness. The phone has a 5.5-inch 1920 by 1080 IPS display with a large top and bottom bezel. It is made from a solid block of aluminum Series 6000 with distinctive two-tone anodized diamond cut edges. The model is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 630 processor clocked at 2.2 GHz with 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB storage. It's able to multitask, but not to terrific gaming performance. Battery life is decent, but nothing to write home about. Using the USB Type-C charging, you can get 50% battery in only 30 minutes. Network performance is good, with the phone registering slightly better than average download and upload speeds on T-Mobile. In a nutshell, the Nokia 6.1 is an impressively good-looking piece of kit considering its price point. Nokia C5 Endi. Nokia C5 Endi offers Cricket customers solid performance and all-day battery life. The front is dominated by a 6.52-inch LCD with a teardrop notch for the camera, surrounded by prominent but balanced bezels. The display features a 1600 by 720 pixel resolution. For a density of 269 ppi, it has a triple camera stack with a 13-megapixel sensor, a 5-megapixel wide-angle lens, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. The phone has a 4000 mAh battery that can easily get you through the day. It is powered by MediaTek Helio P22 MT6762 chipset, 3 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage, of which 54 GB is available out of the box. Connectivity options include Wi-Fi and USB Type-C. Sensors on the phone include fingerprint sensor. It's worth mentioning, though, the C5 isn't part of the Android One program. Nokia 1.4. Nokia 1.4 is a budget Android phone with a 6.51-inch HD Plus display and a dual camera setup. It runs Android 10 Go, which is a slightly tweaked version of Google's mobile OS for low-powered handsets. Qualcomm is back in the driver's seat with a 215 chip, but you've only got between 1 and 3 GB of RAM to pair with up to 64 GB of storage. The camera is an 8-megapixel and a 2-megapixel macro camera, with a 5-megapixel selfie on the front. Landscape images are decent, but they're a bit noisy and lack finer details when you zoom into the frame. It doesn't have any official IP rating for dust or water ingress protection, but the screen isn't protected by a layer of Gorilla Glass either, which is a shame. The battery is solid at 4000 mAh, and the phone charges from empty to full in over 2 hours. If you're in the market for an entry-level device that gets regular updates, the Nokia 1.4 is a decent choice. Nokia 3.4. The Nokia 3.4 offers a nice balance between cost and capabilities. It runs Android 10 on the Android One platform, so you'll get a few years of updates and a nearly stock experience for your money. It has a 6.39-inch LCD screen, and it is one of the phone's highlights. Color is perfectly fine, contrast is good, and maximum brightness is good. It has a Snapdragon 460 processor and 3 GB of RAM. The phone is irritatingly slow, and the situation appears to become worse with the more it's used. The Nokia 3.4 has a 13-megapixel primary, a 5-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 2-megapixel depth aid. The phone does not support HDR, but this is not a big issue at the cost. It runs on a 4000 mAh battery, and there's a headphone jack to boot. In a nutshell, the Nokia 3.4 makes a good first impression for a phone considering its price tag. Nokia 6.2. The Nokia 6.2 is another reminder of just how good cheap phones have become. It comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 CPU with either 3 or 4 GB of RAM, depending on the variant you opt for. The metal and polymer frame feels sturdy. The model has 3 camera sensors, a 16-megapixel main sensor, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide angle, and a dedicated depth sensor. The 8-megapixel front-facing camera is hazy, and if selfies are a priority, Just avoid this phone altogether. It boasts a 3,500 mAh non-removable battery that the company claims will provide 2 days of usage per charge with average use. The is also fairly standard in the connectivity department, offering Bluetooth 5.0, GPS and NFC support alongside 4G connectivity. The downside is there's no water resistance rating, so keep it away from the shower. All in all, the Nokia 6.2 is a solid, if uninspired, budget phone that gets the job done. Nokia 8.35G. The Nokia 8.35G is the first phone from HMD Global to support 5G. The phone is able to use a wide range of high, mid, and low-frequency 5G bands. It features a 6.81-inch Full HD Plus screen with an aspect ratio of 20:9. It comes with a refracted light design that gives it a unique polar light look rather than just a solid color. The model comes in either a 6 GB of RAM with 64 GB of storage or 8 GB with 128 GB. The rear camera array comprises a 64-megapixel main camera, 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, 2-megapixel macro, and 2-megapixel depth sensor. There's also a new action cam mode, specifically designed to capture smooth video. The phone lacks any kind of IP rating for water resistance, so be careful with it near water. The battery is 4,500 mAh, which is on the large size as power packs go. To sum up, it's a competent mid-range device offering up a tried-and-tested Snapdragon 710 chipset, functional camera, and adequate battery, all for a relatively low price.